Welcome back, Carter. Won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today is another episode for the Stepdads. Man, and we're actually doing for the Stepdads right around the time that we release for the Stepdads. So it's more topical because we end up talking about things we're watching, things we're playing, and although a lot of times we're behind the times, we just thought it'd be more fun to do this more topically so, you know, we're not just retreading things that happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff that we've watched the last couple of weeks.
Can I start off by saying how hot it is?
Yeah, it's done. It's came back from camping, and it was super hot and dry up there, and came down, and it was just hot and muggy, and I was not expecting the humidity.
We didn't used to have this humidity here, man.
It was, yeah.
This isn't Boston. It's California, Los Angeles.
I moved out of the Midwest to get away from humidity.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Thanks, global warming.
Yeah. Well,
did you just crack open a beer? Nice.
I did.
Just like a stepdad. Yeah, it's global warming that's causing all this.
Denier. Humidity? But the humidity? I mean, it's not a climate change, I think, is more...
Well, it's climate change is the new branding of global warming.
I know.
Because when we said global warming, some idiot brought a snowball onto the Senate. It was like, well, why is there snow if it's global warming?
And God knows we should listen to him.
Yes, and not the scientists.
Yeah. It was summer solstice was just a couple days ago. Longest day of the year. It was nice.
Was it? Did you?
It was. I spent the whole time literally in a river. Oh, it was really nice. It was great. But watching a lot of stuff. What have you been watching recently?
I started watching For All Mankind, the Apple TV show. For some reason, I just keep getting Apple TV for free. Just seems like I have it for the next 6 years or something.
Yeah, same.
But I heard a lot of really good things about it. So I was like, okay, I like space stuff.
Yeah.
And I watched, I burned through 2 seasons, and I'm caught up on the 3rd season. And it's good. The space stuff is great.
Yeah.
It's great because it's I love alternate reality stuff.
Yeah.
And it's what happened if and this isn't spoiling anything.
It's the premise of the show.
Yeah, exactly. So it's what happened if the Ruskies landed on the moon first? And it kind of heightened the space race, and we built moon bases and
interesting.
But it's the astronaut and the space stuff is awesome.
Yeah,
the relationship stuff, not so much.
A little too soap opera-y.
Super soap opera-y. And sometimes way out of balance with the awesome reality of the science side of the thing. And I know it's we have to make interesting characters. And I'll tell you this. Joel Kinnaman, he's killing it, man.
Nice.
There's been 2 roles that he's really nailed. One is the killing, Marielle Enos.
Oh no, I'm thinking.
You're thinking.
Else.
There's another one with
the redhead
from the X-Files.
Yeah.
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
Which they're kind of similar shows, except that's more of a psychosexual, killer, prey, robber.
Okay.
And this is more, crime drama.
Crime drama.
And he plays kind of like this, this guy. It's the first time I saw him, and it's he was really good at the part, and kind of too good at the part because everything else after that, I was kind of I couldn't get away. He just seemed the same. Even when he was playing, I think, didn't he play RoboCop?
Was that Joel Kinnaman?
Yeah. See, that's how forgettable it is. And I'll tell you this, I liked him in The Killing, and I really liked him in the last Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job in that. Much better than the other Suicide Squad movie where I found him not to be quite as
not as amusing.
Yeah. But I don't fault him. They finally gave the character something to do.
Right.
And this character of this astronaut, totally in his wheelhouse, and he does a great job. Another gripe I have, it is 2022.
Yes.
Aging makeup has evolved leaps and bounds.
Yes.
To the point where we can make Eddie Murphy into a old Jewish man, which we could do back in the 80s.
I was going to say it evolved in the 80s.
Oh my God! It's
we decided this argument a long time ago.
So Kinnaman starts out, in the late 60s, for the original space race, and then
Yeah.
in the 80s, then it goes to the 8. That goes 60s, 70s is the first.
Yeah.
And this is also why I love it, because it's 60s, 70s, and like the history changes too. Like certain things that happened in our history didn't happen. Like Chappaquiddick didn't happen. So
Yeah.
Teddy Kennedy has a much more prominent role in politics. The aging makeup, man.
Yeah.
It's like they just tossed a little bit of baby powder in Kinnaman's hair, and it's like, all right, you're 60.
Yeah.
The actor that plays Gordo, like they made him get fat and stuff, and
Wow.
and get skinny again and do all this stuff, and it
wow,
looked like he really if he didn't gain the weight, it was great prosthesis.
Nice.
But it's like maybe because they don't want to like make the actors look bad or whatever. But all of the
Yeah.
actors that are supposed to be in their 60s and 70s, they just look like they haven't changed at all.
Yeah.
They look a little bit, they give them a little bit of gray and maybe put a little bit of spirit gum around the edges, to give those fake wrinkles. It's a great show, but it's those little things that are disappointing that make it not a must see show.
Right.
But still, I really, really enjoy it.
I like the alternative history kind of stuff. So like that, I didn't really realize that's what it was about. So I didn't even understand the basic premise of the show. So, but I knew it was about space, and that's interesting to me.
And the whole Russian-American back and forth part of it is really interesting, and they do a really good job of recreating 30 years of history,
Nice.
in a different way. So it is definitely, if you're a space nerd or if you really like NASA, like me, I guess, I don't know, you'll really enjoy it. You'll really enjoy it. Just, don't get your expectations up for some really good aging makeup.
Really focus on that aging makeup and how angry it makes you.
I had to start doing the math because I'm like, how old is Kinnaman supposed to be? Because he's like, I'll be pushing 70 when the next thing comes up. And I'm like, well, that means you're in your 60s now? And you look like you're in your 30s. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of documentaries. There's a great show on Netflix called Captive, which is a series of hour-long documentaries about people being kidnapped, essentially, and held for ransom.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah. The first episode was fantastic, about a prison where they revolted and had 6 or 7 guards that they kept hostage for 3 days, 4 days.
Where does that go? What is the end game for that?
It went with a lot of people dying.
Sure. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like once you take the hostages, it's very few get that plane to Cuba or whatever.
But this is the thing, is that they didn't really want out. None of them wanted out. They just wanted to be treated like human beings.
Oh.
That was the whole thing.
How dare they?
It was because in the interview, the warden at the time, and he was just such a dick.
Where was this?
It was in Ohio.
Oh.
But it was a really good. That episode was really good. The rest of them have been it came out on Netflix in 2016 or something. It was a while ago, but I just happened to find it because I had just watched Gladbeck, the hostage crisis, about the bank robbery in 1988 in Western Germany.
Oh,
and how they took employees hostage and then ended up taking a bus hostage, and then just the cops essentially were like, just go and let them drive around. But the great thing about this documentary and what's so fascinating about it is that there are no modern interviews. It's literally all just media footage from the time.
Oh, cool. So it's fly on the wall.
And it is told in such a good, it's edited so well, and it's told in such a good way, and it has, if you don't know anything about it, don't learn anything about it until you see it, because I had no idea what was going to happen at the end. And it's done so well, and it's just really sad. But It's so good. It is done so well. Highly recommend it.
All right. Well, I'll have to definitely check that out.
It's super fun. And watch it in the original German, because it's really fun to hear people screaming German things.
Nice. Really?
They always sound angry when they're not. But
well, it's that language.
But it's fascinating. It comes up a lot on whether or not just how far, in our country, a First Amendment right and your freedom of speech, how far it would actually go. But it definitely changed that country a lot until obviously they reunited with East Germany.
Sure.
But it's really good. It's really good.
Nice.
Something we both watched, the 3rd season of Barry.
Yeah. It was really good. I mean, it's stuck the landing. It's Barry.
I feel like it's gone into its Empire Strikes Back phase.
Yeah. It was a great season. I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
Really dark. It did get renewed for a 4th season, so it's definitely... I mean, it could have ended there, I think.
There was not as much comedy this season.
It was not nearly as funny.
No, but it was gripping.
It was fantastic.
Again, Bill Hader has just come out of the gate as this genius. I mean, he wrote and directed, and
I think he wrote and directed 7 of the 8 episodes.
yeah, I mean, it's an obsession, but he's doing such a great job.
He's phenomenal. I mean, the show, whatever is driving him to tell the story of Barry,
just so weird,
pushing him so hard.
That what was that character he played on Saturday Night Live?
Stefan
is now like one of the greatest drama crime.
Oh, it's so good.
Tours,
so good
of our generation. Yeah, it's amazing. I really enjoyed that.
One of the greatest depictions of abusive relationships I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
and like it was just like,
but it's like
really
it was there was abuse on both sides too, and there was like the way it trickled down to her assistant, and like
yeah.
It just shows, too, how it was just another great example of just how Hollywood will take you, spit you out, and doesn't give a crap where you go or what happens.
Does not care. Does not care.
It's just it's so heartless, and it's just not,
I don't know how anybody could watch Barry and then be like, yeah, I'm going to go to Hollywood. That sounds great.
Yeah. No, but great series.
Highly recommend.
Some of the other stuff. I just watched the newest Beasts of...
The Secrets of Dumbledore or whatever? Fantastic Beasts, that's it. Yeah.
Man, Mads Mikkelsen looks so bored. I just feel like he was like, what do I do? Okay.
It's the total opposite of how Johnny Depp played the character.
But it's not his fault. It's just, it was a really boring movie.
This is why, so...
And I will tell you this. Okay. I've come to a decision, Adam, that when I don't like something, I'm going to say a couple of nice things about it, even though I don't like it. So don't let me forget to say a couple of nice things about Dumbledore.
I didn't mind it. This is not really spoiling anything, but I was highly disappointed by the fact that the entire plot of the movie was based around trying to change a vote.
Yeah, it's like, I think we've had enough of stuff about vote changing for the last couple of years.
Don't need to be seeing that anymore.
No. Yeah, how unfortunate for them.
It was just, but the ending was just such a letdown, and it was just like, oh, okay, here it is. All right, great.
So here's a couple things I did like about it.
Okay.
One, it had Jessica Williams, who I have adored since she was on The Daily Show.
Oh, yeah,
one of the best correspondents. She's popped up in a few things, but I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
And she was so good at like the Katharine Hepburn. Stalking,
She was awesome.
She was amazing, and I really liked Jude Law. I thought he did a good job as Dumbledore.
Yeah. He always does. Yeah. I mean, he's great, and he definitely did the job.
But it's like the whole Ezra Miller thing, and like...
It was really obvious they were trying to set it up for more. Like, it was like, this is just the middle chapter, and because they were planning on doing 2 more movies, but they're not anymore.
Good. I mean, it's time to move on.
It's just too,
You do something else. You know what I'm really excited for is the video game.
Yes, the Harry Potter.
Yeah, because it takes place in like the 1800s.
Hogwarts, yeah.
It looks really interesting. It'd be really fun to like explore.
That I'm super excited about. Yeah, it'll be really fun.
Or let's do. There's got to be something else in the universe we can do. You know?
Yeah.
And it's also, I don't know. I just can't with Eddie Redmayne. I'm sorry, I just can't with him. Can't. And there was like a moment where he was going to kiss somebody. I don't know who he was going to kiss, but they both had such weird lips, and I'm like, how's this going to work with their weird lips? It was too much anxiety for me. But and I also watched the Doctor Strange and the madness of the multiverse.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
It was fun. I don't know. I had a good time with it. I saw it in the theater. I thought it was fun.
It was fine. I will say I really enjoyed the actress that played America.
Chavez. Yeah.
Yes. I thought she was really good. See, I'm saying nice things.
Yeah. It was very obviously directed by Sam Raimi.
Yes. And it was great to see Bruce Campbell.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
And it was more fun than the last outing. And full disclosure. Ow. Full disclosure, I'm not the biggest Doctor Strange fan.
The character or
the character,
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Like I've never out of all the Marvel guys, he's never really like gripped me in the comics.
I understand that. Yeah, I get that.
And also, I don't enjoy Benedict Cumberbatch with an American accent. Although I will say he was much better this time, and it wasn't as distracting.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed him much more in this one, and I thought his performance
He
was
seemed
really,
like he had more fun with this.
yeah, because he had a good director.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And a director that knows the fun of comic book movies.
Right.
His Spider-Man movies were great.
Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
But even the third one was fun. I mean, it's like all that
was-
goofy stuff, you know, was him trying something different at least.
Well, and like half of the third Spider-Man movie wasn't even directed by him because it was such a huge production.
Right.
Like there was like 5 units going at the same time, and he was on a golf cart driving around the studio trying to do everything at the same time. And it's
Right,
like,
right.
yeah, no, you can't. It got too big.
It was fine. It was fine. It was, you know, it's just, it's another really forgettable movie. I don't remember a lot that happened.
The third one, Spider-Man
Yeah.
3,
No,
the Doctor Strange.
yeah, and also just making the Scarlet Witch the villain, you know, spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
No, well, yeah.
I mean,
the
it's-
trailers. It's fine.
It starts from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you know.
It's in
so
the trailers. It's fun.
you know, it's like, I'd rather see somebody more, somebody new,
Yeah.
you know? It's like we made her a hero, now she's a villain. It's like she's a villain because she wants to see her kids, but it's
Yeah.
like, you know, is that real? I get the motivation, but like, you know, her seeing herself with her kids and she still wants to take her. It just didn't seem like
Yeah.
it was.
It's really interesting because the third Spider-Man movie, the last one, the No Way Home,
The Last
or
Crusade?
whatever. Yeah, whatever. The
I
one
didn't see that
he-
yet.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I
yet.
haven't seen
Okay.
it yet.
Other than that, like I feel like Marvel kind of painted themselves into a corner, like building up to the Thanos Endgame stuff and like all that, because everything after that's just been kind of like,
Yeah.
okay. Like it's not bad, but it's just like it doesn't feel like it has a purpose or a point.
Yeah.
And it probably doesn't need to, and my guess is that a lot of the older Marvel movies, while it was building towards this climax of Endgame, probably felt the same way. We just weren't aware of it.
Yeah, I guarantee you, man, they're going to be bringing back Captain America and Iron Man pretty soon. They're going to find a way to do it.
Yeah, they are. It's going to be, what's his name?
Mackie?
They did the whole show about it. Yeah, that's,
Anthony Mackie.
They're going to bring him back.
I
yeah.
know, but they're also talking to Chris Evans about bringing him back as Cap, and they're also talking about
I don't
bringing
think
back.
it's going to happen.
Well, I hope not, but I see Disney's got the fear, man,
Yeah, it's
stupid. It's
It
stupid.
just doesn't. I mean, I trust Kevin Feige. I trust that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But the shows have been good. I mean, all 3 or 4. Well, the 3 that I've watched
Right.
have been pretty good.
We're behind. We need to watch Moon Knight and Ms.
Ms.
Marvel.
Yeah. Moon Knight, I'm excited about. We need to watch that. But the other
Ms.
shows
Marvel
were
looks
good
cool too.
Definitely, WandaVision was way better than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse
Mm-hmm.
of Madness. It was just better written at the end of the day. I really enjoyed it, and it you're right in that regard of Scarlet Witch becoming the villain. It was like, oh, like this WandaVision was like a prequel to her being bad.
And we
Okay.
already saw it, and we saw a much more developed version of it, and a much more interesting version of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that was my problem. I guess is that story was told, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
yeah.
You know, there's a lot
Yeah.
of cool creatures and a lot of demons and a lot of like bad things going on in the multiverse.
Plenty of villains in the Marvel
You know,
universe.
we don't need to keep and I get it.
Yeah.
She's great. She was great. She's a great actress.
She is. She was really good in it. Yeah.
Actor, and you know, but I don't know.
I enjoyed this one more than the first.
Oh, same.
but
I could not tell you what happened in the first. I don't remember.
I remember him fighting a big fire demon at the end.
I don't even remember that.
Like the time looping over and over again. That's all I remember.
Is that the one that the Hulk came smashing in, or was that?
No, he was also in the car accident. I remember that. But
Oh
like-
yeah, because his hands got all mangled,
Yeah.
and he was a surgeon.
Oh, and what's her name was bald. She was the
Tilda
big,
Swinton.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
She was great in that too.
And okay.
wow. So I'm
Okay.
remembering more of it now.
Now I have to ask you, and this is a huge spoiler alert.
Sure.
If you haven't seen the In the Mouth of the
Mouth of Madness. That would be great. Doctor Strange in the Mouth of
I would love to
Madness.
see it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Spoil. Just pause it for a second or speed it up for a second.
Earmuffs.
And it's not even that big of a spoiler. It's just like, who the hell was Charlize Theron in the end? Like,
I don't know.
what character was that?
She's totally new. I don't think she's a character in the comics at all. She's just somebody else that's entirely new. I have no idea.
And I will tell you, the very, very last part with Bruce Campbell was my favorite part in the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
He's just
so funny.
I love him so much.
He's so great.
I love him so much.
Yeah, Charlize Theron actually was also had a cameo in The Boys.
Yeah.
which that was
It was very similar.
Where you're up to? Oh, I probably haven't seen the. No, we did watch the Friday show. Yeah, we're caught up. But anyway, very similar. But yeah, she talked about how she She had actually been doing the Marvel stuff first, or had been cast in the boys stuff first.
Yeah.
And then went to Marvel when they asked her to do this, and she was like, well, just so you know, I'm going to kind of be making fun of you guys.
Sure.
And they're like, okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Which the boys has been really good, too.
Oh, it has been great. Yeah. It has been so disturbing. It's so disturbing.
It's dark.
It's just crazy to me that the guy that made Supernatural is made the boys.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And that's why he brought in Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles. Okay. Ackles, yeah.
For Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy.
Which he's been great.
I did not even realize it was him until after.
He's so jacked. But he's been great playing like the Captain America-ish character. Yeah. It's been so much fun this season.
Yeah.
This week's episode is like all about some sort of orgy or something, apparently.
Really?
Super orgy. Or the,
wow. Okay. The one that's coming out?
Yeah, on Friday.
Okay, great. Looking forward to that.
Talking up this episode all season.
I don't know.
Ooh, everybody go.
Not sure how you can surpass the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
Yeah. To me, that was disturbing, but the Timothy scene to me was much more disturbing.
Yeah.
I had to look away. It was so heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking. They got a big shout out from PETA for that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check it out.
Don't eat octopuses, that's all I'm saying.
No. I used to eat when I would go to sushi, I would always order octopus because that was a good barometer of how fresh the fish was. Mm-hmm. If it was chewy like bubblegum, then their fish was going to be garbage. But if it was tender, delicious. But yeah, I won't eat it anymore. I don't even think I'm going to eat lobster anymore because of that whole they live forever and they mate. And, it just seems like they're smarter than...
I'm not a big fan of lobster anyway, so that's not...
It's the biggest one for me, bacon. I can't. I mean,
you can't eat bacon?
I can't not eat bacon. Pigs seem awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel badly. But I'm not. I need some joy in my life, Adam.
So tasty.
And
I agree.
Bacon,
I agree.
Burgers. I can't. I don't eat a lot of meat. But when I eat meat, I want to eat meat. I don't like veggie burgers. I don't think they taste like burgers. No. They're fine. Like veggie burgers, fine. If you don't want a burger, if you just want some sort of healthy sandwich, there's some really delicious patties, but they don't taste anything like meat.
There are restaurants here in LA where they make their own veggie burgers, and they're delicious as hell. They're amazingly. They don't try to pretend to be meat. All this Beyond Meat and all this stuff where they literally just dump a ton of liquid smoke into it, thinking that's going to somehow fool you.
Yeah, it's got a weird aftertaste. And fake bacon, faking.
Ugh.
F that, baby.
It's worse than turkey bacon.
We watched Boba Fett. We did watch that. But we also watched Obi-Wan Kenobi.
We did. We
just
got
finished
to
it.
Finish it, yeah.
That was really fun. I think a lot of people have been having problems with it. But I thought it was super fun. I love the actor that played... Princess Leia, young Princess Leia.
Yes, whose name I do not know.
Poor Kumail Nanjiani, man. Again, they could have just he could have ripped his shirt off or something.
Something
it's
he could have had
they put
an
him
accident.
in the baggiest robe. It's just poor guy spent many years.
I will
getting in
say
shape.
he was really good in this.
Oh,
I liked him a lot.
I love him.
I liked him a lot.
I think he's great. I find him extremely funny. I tease him because he's ripped. He hasn't become Joe Piscopo.
No, because he's nobody's Joe Piscopo.
No, Joe Piscopo was funny. He was. People forget how funny Joe Piscopo was.
But that doesn't rule out the fact that he was also crazy.
Well, sure, but I'm saying Joe Piscopo, when he got muscles, stopped being funny. And a lot of the one exception to that rule that I've seen is Chappelle.
Yeah,
Chappelle's jacked as F.
Yeah,
he's got.
He's been living in Ohio,
Rambo's
running
arms.
away from the cops.
He puts a cigarette, he puts the weight in his cigarette hand and curls it up, but it hasn't affected him.
No, he's still funny. It does seem like for the most part when actors are asked, especially comedic actors, are asked to become part of an action series. They become less funny. They try to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
And
I get it, man. It's a lot of work to do that. And it's I did it without any money or training or probably I didn't do it safely. I don't know. Who knows? But, I know what it's like to have to, do that sacrifice of trying to make your body something that it doesn't want to be. And my body definitely doesn't want to be, and I wasn't Marvel quality.
Right.
I was like good for humans.
Right.
But not, I was pretty good.
For a normal person.
Right. Yeah. But it took, 2 hours of weights, an hour of running, and starving myself 6 days a week. And then,
That does not sound like fun at all.
No. I mean, you get in a rhythm where it becomes kind of addictive, where it's it gets unhealthy because you're like, oh, I can't miss my workout. Those people that are so obsessive. I've been there, and it's not fun, and people hate being around it. And trust me, you hate yourself. But but I get it, But it also, there's a different way you carry yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not that I was funnier when I was chubby. It's just that I think there was a lot more range, I guess, of characters that you can play.
Yeah.
You know, there's always going to be, you can't, play a lovable loser so much if you're friggin' jacked. You know what I mean? It's like you look like you're in a porno, some jacked up dude with glasses and slick down hair. But, I don't know, big tangent. But, But Kumail, he did a great job in Obi-Wan. And it was really fun. And it was so good to see Hayden Christensen back. And there was that awesome, duel when they were back in the day when they were Anakin, and it was just very, very well done. One of the best lightsaber duels of all time in the finale
and part 6,
especially the best lightsaber duel between the two of them,
or chapter 6. Yeah, it was. I mean,
it's not a big spoiler. Everybody knows it was going to culminate in a lightsaber fight between the two of them.
It was great. It was. I'm not sure why people hated it so much. I feel like we're seeing the old, the classic Darth Vader, but with being able to do like modern effects and stuff. Like there's an amazing scene at the end of Part 5 that is just one of the greatest things I've ever seen in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And where he at the end of the last
5
episode, where he grabs the ship, and like it's stuff that's been done in the cartoons and
in the video
games, but not seeing it on screen, and like it just shows just how insanely powerful these guys are.
And they did a really good job of melding the classic Darth Vader with the prequel Anakin Vader.
Yes.
And the Clone Wars and Rebels and all of that. They really solidified that relationship and really did a good job of basically it was two people moving on from really bad breakup. That's what it was we basically saw these two exes ran into each other again. Oh baby, fireworks. And then them in not the healthiest way, but figuring out how to
but it was great.
Move on.
It was great. I love seeing Ewan McGregor in anything. I mean, he's fantastic, but he's so good in this part, and like he knows that he knows it and that he's good at it, and
he loves doing it. Like, I think, people don't realize that he really enjoyed playing the part.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't have done this if he didn't enjoy playing the part. So,
I mean, he was a huge part in getting that. I mean, when they flowed the idea to him, he was a huge part in getting it made, because he was like, this is something I really enjoyed doing. And
I hope they do a second season. That would be great.
There's still plenty of story to tell.
Yeah. Or I also think that they should do a series with young Leia, and then R2-D2 and C-3PO could be like with her.
Yeah.
Maybe some other droid, and then she goes off on little adventures or whatever. Or she gets, she grabs some other kids and they do a Star Wars Goonies.
It could be very much in the vein of like the prequels, I mean, like that kind of feel, because they were definitely made more for kids, like having the elements and stuff, but it could kind of harken back to that. I think the prequels are finally starting to get their,
because the kids that loved it are grown-ups now. And they're showing their kids. It's like...
Right.
When Star Wars came out, adults thought it was dumb.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't...
It's kid stuff. Why would I watch this?
Yeah, there were a lot of adults that dug it, but it wasn't, you know... My stepdad certainly wasn't a lover of Star Wars.
Right.
Right. He'd mix it up with Star Trek, as he would call it. Drove me crazy, Star Trek! Trek, not track.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I said Star Trek, and he
Don't
corrected
say Star
me.
Trek.
Well, I was a young boy.
Yeah.
I had my little Star Wars dolls.
Much easier
Or
to
Star
do.
Trek dolls.
Action figures.
These were dolls, baby. They were the mid-size, They were the between.
There was not the G.I. Joes, but the
And they were the mid-sized dolls between the Star Wars and the GIs, and there was a lot of. I used to have a lot of DC comic book here, Batman, Flash. They had.
Yeah. $6 million Man.
The Hulk. Iron Man, the old school Iron Man.
Yeah.
With little plastic gloves you take out, plastic boots.
Oh, nice.
They were all done really well. They were really cool. And the Star Trek ones were awesome.
Yeah.
They had little phasers and little tricorders, and I had a little play set that looked like the bridge.
Nice. That's fun.
That's some
fun.
cool play sets, man. I had you would have loved my Planet of the Apes play set.
Oh, yeah.
With all the
Hell
apes.
yeah, are you kidding?
That Christmas morning when I came back, and my mom stayed up all night putting that thing together.
Yeah.
It was pretty rad.
I just, I don't think I told you this, but I just bought the new Planet of the Apes trilogy on 4K.
Oh, wow.
Because I have 4K Blu-ray, but it has Atmos on it, so you have to play it at some point. Apparently, it's the most amazing looking movie on 4K.
Oh,
ever.
really?
Yeah.
I'd love to check it out. I don't know if the PS5 supports Atmos yet.
Oh, I don't know if it
Strangely
does.
enough.
That is interesting.
Because I have to watch tech. Time for tech corner, people.
Put your nerd glasses on. Here we go.
But I have a sound bar that intermittently works. Drives me crazy. I hate new technology.
Yeah.
Man, I had a TV that my father bought the day that I was born so he could watch football while my mom was in labor because daddies didn't go into the delivery room back then. They smoked a lot of cigarettes and watched a lot of TV. I had that TV up until I was in my 30s, and it still worked great.
Yeah.
This little tiny portable color TV. Yeah. Now it's just like you buy something, and it not only may or may not work, but it constantly needs updates. It constantly needs software updates.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on, man, I just want to listen to some stuff. I didn't, I bought a stereo, I hooked up 2 speakers, I turned it on, and it worked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Plugged the TV into it, and it worked. I mean, things are much simpler.
Yeah.
In my day.
That was my parents. For their wedding, they got it was like maybe 19-inch like Sony TV, but we used that thing. They got married in like 75 or no 74, so we used that thing for almost 20 years until we finally got a bigger TV, and then they threw it in their bedroom, and it worked forever.
And people still have their avocado-colored refrigerators from 1972 because those things never die. Never.
No.
I don't know how they built them. They should. Whoever built those Amana refrigerators back in the day, have them build the space shuttle.
Yeah, the problem is that all those places are shut down now. Like there was I think it was Amana that was outside of where I grew up, and it closed down, and man, that town died.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, Adam. They stop making quality products and stop giving quality wages and.
Well, I mean, honestly, stuff is much cheaper to make overseas, cheaper labor and cheaper parts, and that's why everything breaks down.
Yeah, because you get what you pay for.
Late stage capitalism, yay!
Okay, now we're getting into real stepdad.
Before we get out of stuff we watched, I do want to talk about Jurassic Park.
Oh,
because we just rewatched it.
Oh, the original.
The original.
Did you see the new one?
No, not yet. But we started watching The Lost World last night.
Oh, really?
And I gotta say, I think it is the worst Steven Spielberg movie ever made.
Really?
I did not realize how much I hated that movie.
Oh.
It is such a stupid premise, and I was so... It has some great action sequences in it, but the premise was so dumb.
Oh, I mean, I remember seeing it and being a bit disappointed in the theater.
If you hadn't told me Spielberg directed it, I wouldn't have believed it.
It was lazy. You could tell his heart wasn't in it.
It just was. There's a reason he doesn't do sequels, and I don't even think we finished it. I fell asleep, and I was just like, I can't.
Didn't he do this to as a appeasement to make something else like Schindler's List?
I think so. Yeah, to get funding for that or whatever.
But yeah, I mean,
but it just wasn't. It makes me sad because it's. I'm trying to think. And we're going to rewatch all the other movies before we go see the one in the theater.
Yikes!
I know.
Although I'm curious to hear because I think I might rewatch them as well. I'm not going to see Dominion in the theater.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the third one. I thought the third one was a very It's almost like Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
where it was a very compact and focused movie.
Yes,
it had a premise: rescue kids, go do you know, and
go A to B, and then
it wasn't like, oh, everything is everything, and we got to include every goddamn thing in the world.
Oh, by the way, there's a whole second island. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah. Well, that was in the book too. I mean,
I don't care. Then it's a dumb premise for the book. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Adam, you always have a secret island. It's just like Contact when they had the secret second spaceship.
That was also written really well.
Contact was written okay.
The book is good.
The book, yes.
Yeah.
But the
movie was hard. It was hard to adapt it in because it's a lot of big ideas.
It was okay.
But it was good. I still really love that movie. And it's a good movie. But
I just couldn't. Matthew McConaughey's character is the preacher. He just bugged me so much. Oh, let's get together. Oh, yeah, giggity goo.
Yeah. That was
but,
pretty much.
Got to say something nice. I did really enjoy the movie, and Jodie Foster was amazing in that movie.
Yeah. She was great.
And same with William Hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt. Was he? Yeah.
Not William
The
Hurt.
one from Alien.
Hurt.
Gets the chest. Oh,
no, that is William Hurt.
Is it Hurt or Hurd?
Yeah. No, it's Hurt.
Hurd is the one that died recently that was in Big, right? That played the boyfriend of...
Yes. Wait, the boyfriend guy died? Was that William Hurt?
Yeah, I think so.
Did he die recently?
Yeah.
Wow, that's sad. Now I'm sad.
It is.
Say something happy right now.
Boobs!
All right. And we're back. So anyway, the whole thing is that, I mean, maybe I was just in a bad mood too when I was watching it, but I just was not impressed with how it was set up, and just the whole thing just was ludicrous.
Yeah, it wasn't written well. I think it was, kind of slammed together. It was of the age too of, movies were just thrown together by committee.
Yeah.
They just kept dumping things and changing things sequel, right up until the camera starts shooting.
But I agree. I'm excited about watching 3 again. I read a great article about how they never actually had a finished script for that movie, and how people just kept coming in and writing new scenes, doing different stuff.
They built on things pretty well.
Yeah.
They must have had some good improvisers because they yes-stand the hell out of that script. That's interesting.
So we'll see. I mean, but I'm curious for you to watch it again and see. I mean, like I said, it could have just been that I was not in the mood for that or something, but the premise of it at the beginning with Jeff Goldblum and his daughter and her just magically appearing. It's like, really? Yeah. She hid away on a boat for 14 hours or 18 hours or...
She's a gymnast. She's able to contort herself.
Anyway, sorry. I'm going to stop ranting now about Lost World.
No, I get it. It wasn't... It's a shame. Yeah, Spielberg's had a few misses. I mean, let's be honest. He's not... nobody is untouchable. Nobody's Teflon.
This is okay. I think this is okay. A little bit more. Sorry. The scene where they go in to find the girlfriend, and the girlfriend is there, Julianne Moore. Mm-hmm. She's there, and she walks up and she touches a little baby stegosaurus and she pets it. And then the camera that she borrowed from Vince Vaughn, who I always forget Vince Vaughn's in the movie.
Yeah.
She's like, it starts whirring and they're freaking out and the stegosauruses are freaking out and she runs away and she runs towards them for some reason. And then when they finally get back together with her, he goes, the camera guy or whatever goes to light a cigarette. And she's like, no, you shouldn't do that. We're only supposed to be here to observe and not interact. And it's like, what the F did you just do?
Yeah. It's like my favorite scene, and we'll be talking about this in Red Dawn.
Yes.
And I apologize to those who are going to listen to our Red Dawn because this is going to be a repeat.
Yeah.
But there's a scene with Harry Dean Stanton. Okay, I'm not even going to... If you've seen Red Dawn, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen Red Dawn, this might be weird, but this will give you a preview of what our show will be next month. So, Harry Dean Stanton is in a Korean prison camp in the United States. And his boys sneak up to the camp. And he's like, shh, boys, you gotta be real quiet. You gotta be real quiet because cops are everywhere. Go quiet. And they're like, okay, Daddy, we gotta get you out of here. He's like, okay, do it, boys. You can't get me out of here. You gotta have to run. You have to go. And they're like, okay, Daddy, we gotta go. Okay, but we gotta leave you. As they're walking away, Harry Dean Stanton, at the top of his lungs, avenge me, boys! Avenge me! At the top of his lungs.
After telling them to be quiet.
And they're only like a few steps away. They cut out the reverse shot of them being like, shut up, Dad, shut up. But it's the same exact thing where it's like, It's
You
just
said,
contradicted yourself.
You just said not to do this.
And you're making a movie. You could cut that in a way that it doesn't,
That takes 2 seconds of rewriting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Such a good. I can't wait for the Red Dawn
Frustrating.
to watch
Yeah.
that again.
It's going to be good.
I forgot, like, Ben Johnson's in it. And Powers Booth.
To go a little into our theme of the month, our apocalypse stuff, did you go through like an apocalypse phase when you were growing up?
Oh,
Like
yeah, of course.
Reading like The Last Babylon and
Apocalypse
and all
Now,
this.
baby.
Apocalypse Now, yeah. Yeah, Apocalypse Now.
Growing up with the threat of nuclear annihilation
Yeah.
and seeing things like The Day After and doing duck and cover drills at school where they're
Put your textbook on your head; it'll save you.
get under your desk. They're made of metal. They'll just melt and glob with you, so we'll know who's who because they're globbed to the desk with their name on. But there was always kind of this feeling in the back of your head of like, well, any day, we could just get nuked.
There it is. Yep.
So I think that was the fascination. It's strange, Adam, because I think a lot of the things that come out of those type of situations create other situations. Like I believe that created the satanic panic because people need a valve,
Right. To let that,
of outrage of something that they think that they can control.
to relieve that pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at now, again, we're back in the 80s. We're again on the brink of nuclear annihilation. I don't really think we are, but I mean, we have that sort of Damocles, over our heads. People are again shifting into the satanic panic era with this CRT and this don't say gay and this. They're turning into this blame and control mode that people who strangely enough, people who usually believe in a God and a plan somehow can't trust in that God or his plan and have to freak out and create some sort of misery or some sort of ridiculous problem that a solution to a problem that doesn't exist.
They have to create an enemy because the enemy is this weird concept that they can't comprehend.
Right.
Which, like you said, is very interesting because they believe in a God that is big and you can't comprehend, and that's fine. But the second you say, there's some people across the world that might want to kill us, well, but really? How? Like, it's communism. Like, how? What?
Yeah.
Like,
But you can... It's just strange how there's a corollary between these big hysterical movements and, global insecurity,
collapse.
I guess. It's just there's a lot going on. And there's been a lot of changes.
Understatement of the year.
Hey, there's some stuff going on. But I think, people aren't... They're not only scared about the unknown, but they're scared about all of the changes happening into the world that goes against what they've been taught. I get it, it's a complicated time.
Sure.
But it's also a really hard time to have any modicum of intelligence.
Yeah.
Because it just drives you crazy listening to all the crap that's going on and all the stuff that they're crowing about that is just nonsense.
Yeah. For me, my phase really started with The Stand. I mean, that was the first one that I was like, oh my God, you can actually, the world's ending? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which I just found out that apparently there was a book called The Earth Abides, which I had never heard of until recently. And apparently Stephen King took a lot of inspiration from this book that came out in the 50s, which I'd never heard of. I have it waiting for me at the library. I just need to go get it.
I just sent you a list of, I think, the 97 books that Stephen King thinks you should read.
Yeah.
I've read quite a few, but there's a lot that he puts his wife on there. Because he has to. It's like if he made a list, it didn't put his family on it. She's a great artist. He didn't put himself on there, so that's nice of him. That would have been
a little self.
The first 50 books on this
64. The first 64.
There's some Cormac McCarthy. There's Dickens, and then there's Chambon, and there's a bunch of interesting books, and not necessarily. I think there's some Heart of Darkness is on there, and there's some I think Moby Dick might be on there, but there's some other deep cuts of different authors too that aren't quite as popular as
mainstream.
Yeah. So it's a good list to look at.
Okay.
Maybe
that's
want
cool.
to get back into reading.
Yeah.
I just haven't been reading as much. As
I haven't either. I wanted to finish Golden Child before this show. Did not. I did. I got about halfway through it, but and it's good. Actually, it's really good. It's like a Dashiell Hammett novel. Like it's really good. I kind of wish they would remake it. I love the original movie. Don't get me wrong, but like I kind of wish they'd remake it. Although I know they screwed up somehow. And like,
well, let's do it. Let's make it.
I'd be down. It's good. It's really interesting. It's really good. It's written very well, considering very very spare, if that makes sense. Like it's a very cut to the bone kind of novel.
Well, that's noir,
good.
baby.
Yeah,
it's bullets.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I'm excited to read The Earth Abides. I have no idea anything about what it's about.
The dude abides as well. You do that.
But I love that stuff. I'd like Failsafe and Alas Babylon, and I'd have a weird fascination with the end of the world. And
Yeah. I mean, that's the same reason why I loved Night of the Comet.
Yeah.
And the same reason why it would, and even the Twilight Zone with Burgess Meredith when he's the last man on Earth, and
Yeah.
he's
All the
I can
time.
read all the time
All
in
the
the
time
world,
in
all
the
the
world.
time in the world, and then crunch.
Burgess.
Why? Why?
One of my absolute favorite things is watching Burgess Meredith. Like,
He's amazing.
so great.
He was so good in the Grumpy Old Men
Oh yes.
movies as their dad. He's like, woof. He was like 100 when he did
Talk
those.
about somebody who likes bacon.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I had a fast. Also, I was exposed to death at a very early age and mortality, and I had a huge fear of that for a while, and a huge fear of everything for a few years, and then kind of like went the opposite way, and then it was very dangerous. But I think that too lent to a fascination with Armageddon and and always the thought of like being the last person. Like there was always something appealing about being the last person on Earth or whatever, or like there's something adventurous, and you think about it until you're like, well, what about when I need a dentist? My appendix is about to burst. There's definitely downsides. 100%.
Yeah.
But I've always loved zombie stuff and
Yeah.
survival stuff. But strangely enough, not in video games. Because there's tons
Not
of
same. Not a big survival horror video game person. I find it to be tedious.
Well, I don't like having to chop down trees and process work and make a base and make a
I don't want to actually live through the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I just want to read about it.
Find a base and put some crap in it and do some upgrades or whatever. I like the whole, Last of Us way of doing it.
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah.
it's,
That was
it's
that's
manageable.
that's a great good end of the world like story.
Yeah, and very believable.
Yeah.
Even the whole clicker thing is believable because it comes from an actual
Yeah. Fungus is going to kill all of us.
Among us, a fungus among us. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of stuff.
That's your whole like lone survivor thing. That's my absolute favorite book of all time. I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Is it's never been done properly on film. Been adapted 4 times and never been done properly.
No, I guess the closest would probably be the Vincent Price one.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I mean,
Strangely enough,
given the other two, it was the main thing that I don't understand is that with that book, and we don't have to talk about this now, but I don't get why the whole point of it was being set in L.A. and like the whole allegory was not like L.A. was a town of suburbs, and you didn't know your neighbors like you did in New York or Chicago or bigger cities like that, and none of the film adaptations have ever set it in L.A.
because it's not as interesting. L.A. is so spread out.
Yeah.
Seeing New York overgrown and with things going through, I think it's more
but that
visceral.
defeats the purpose. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm waiting for that $300,000 adaptation of it.
Let's
where
do
it's
it.
Just spare as hell.
Let's do
and
it.
Like,
You can direct it all star as the dude.
all right, I'm down.
We'll make it happen. We'll do it in VR. I'll make a VR version, the first VR version of I Am Legend.
Yeah. Anyway, so love that apocalypse stuff, but great. The new Last of Us Volume 1 or Part 1 or whatever they're calling it is being remade for the PS5 and being released.
For $70.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that it's expensive.
I'm hoping there'll be some sort of upgrade path or something that you don't have to pay. I guess I'm not going to buy that game again for $70. It's just I'll wait for it to go on. It's just
It'll go on sale around Christmas.
unless it's just completely different. You know, I can't imagine.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But even then, doesn't that mean they'd have to remake Part 2 as well to utilize the PS5?
Yeah, well, I think they're doing that too.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I don't think it'll be as hard to upgrade that.
Yeah.
But still, it's just, I don't know. I think you got to stick with like the $10, $20, $30 model of.
If it's a game you've bought twice already, then yes.
I mean, I'm replaying. Let's move into what we're playing. Yeah. I just started a replay of GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5, on PlayStation 5. Mm-hmm. And it's been so much fun. I mean, it's so quick, and it's such a great game, and it's been long enough that I don't really remember a lot of stuff that happened. Right. So a lot of it's fresh. But that was $10. You know, the online part was free, which was great, and then they just charge you $10 to upgrade to the new version, and it's beautiful. I'm really glad that I did. Yeah. But sure, I'll pay $10 for for a new coat of paint.
I would even be willing. I think even with the Last of Us Part 1, I would be willing to pay $20. I think $20 would be acceptable.
Sure. Yeah, depending on how good it is.
I get it. I mean, they did a lot of work on it and all that. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm not getting a new story. I'm not getting anything.
No, I mean, even Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
They gave you an expansion. They made you pay for the upgrade, but it was $20, I think, and you upgraded to PS5 and got whatever expansion came with it, so you got a little extra value to it.
But that's a good one though, because that would definitely be good to play on PS5.
It's gorgeous.
Utilizing that technology. Yeah. It was pretty on the PS4.
Oh, yeah.
It was gorgeous on that. I can't even imagine how.
Yeah, it's like I get distracted sometimes, just like in world, like playing Ratchet and Clank. I just would stop and just look around because it was just so much crap going on screen. Yeah. I'm just like, this is insane. It's been really fun playing the story of GTA again, getting to know those characters again.
Oh, so much fun. So well written.
Such a great story. It's funny because, I mean, so much of the stuff going on the radio that was recorded in 2013 or 2012, whenever it came out, is so apt for right now.
Right.
It is just, it's like they're, the same.
Yeah.
They're ripping it from today's news. And also, what else have I been playing? Oh, I've been playing, it's both really old games, but I've been playing Metro 2077 because they did a PS5 upgrade. Gorgeous. But that game is super fun. It's like talking about post-apocalyptic.
Right.
It's like a post-apocalyptic game that takes place in Russia. I believe it's a Ukrainian studio.
I think so.
That made these games. I know it's a Ukrainian author.
It is
who wrote the original.
It's
text.
it's set in Russia, but I think you're right. I think it is.
So it's a good time to support Ukrainian developers and businesses. You can get it for dirt cheap. I think I picked it up for like $7, and then recently they had the DLC was on sale for like one was $3, one was $4, so I just picked that up too.
It is it's a fun game. It
does not.
It's hard because it is
does not hold your hand.
Nope.
There's no map. There's
something you can check.
There's a
but
map
it's
you can check, but
not
it's
an
not
on-screen map.
Interactive at all.
Yeah.
You can't move around it or set markers or anything. You have a little compass on your wrist that you can kind of follow.
Right.
But there's no HUD.
Yeah.
It's just you.
I ran out of ammo, and I didn't have ammo for a long time.
So, you got to really, like...
I was just like, how am I supposed to play this game if I can't find ammo?
You got to run, and you can run away. You know, and you could pick... It's just done in a very immersive way, and you have this train that you travel on. There's always people, and there's a little side quest. Like I found a little teddy bear for a girl. She lost her teddy bear, but I had to go into this big nest of this demon bird or something, fight it, and get the...
It does do the one thing, just one small gripe about the game, and in a lot of games have been doing this, but it does utilize, obviously, like a 5.1 system. My main problem with it is that if you're not staring right at the person talking... the sound disappears. Like, I like to hear the story, and they talk for long amounts of time, but I want to explore around while they're talking, because I could still theoretically hear you if I turn around. It's just that I'm not directionally pointed at you.
Sometimes, because I think a lot of games have a bad 5.1 mix, and because it's directional, and directional audio is great for headphones, but it also check your audio settings. Because sometimes
It's possible, yeah.
Sometimes when I'm playing a game that has that kind of situation, I'll put it on stereo
Right, instead
of 5.1 because it'll everything will be coming at you.
Right, rather than that's a good idea actually.
But it's sometimes the mix is just weird because it's almost like you got to get your ear close to them rather than facing them.
Exactly.
Because you don't hear.
It's just weird. It's a little awkward, but that being said, it's still, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
And the game's fantastic. It's very fun.
Yeah, it's creepy. There's some eerie like monsters and there's bad guys and stealth and you're surviving. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to help people survive. It's very well done. I was extremely impressed by it. It kind of came out of nowhere for me. Mm-hmm. I had really not heard very much about it, but I 100% recommend the Metro series. Metro 2077, I think, is the one that we're playing.
One we're playing, yeah. Exodus. Metro 2077 Exodus.
Yeah, and like I said, you can get that thing for nothing.
It's super cheap now, yeah. I just played through, speaking of old games, I just played through Beyond Two Souls, the Quantic Dream game.
Elliot Page.
Fantastic. It's told in a very interesting way. I'm probably not going to go play through it again.
Yeah. Quantic Dream does such a great job of telling stories that you can replay because every choice actually matters.
Yeah.
Unlike most games where it's like your choices matter, but do they?
Yeah, exactly. But it makes me really excited for their Star Wars game they have coming out.
Oh yeah, Eclipse.
Hopefully, some point. I don't know. Probably next year.
2026. No, it's not
really?
coming out until like 2025.
Yeah,
it was.
Makes me sad.
I'll probably be dead.
Wow. Okay, that just came out of nowhere, man.
I'll haunt you while you play it. You'll feel a coldness around you.
It's like, go away, man.
I try to press the button.
I mean, coldness would be good right now.
Yeah, it would. Bring the ghosts.
That's what we need. More ghosts.
Yeah, that's what this world needs to cure global warming. It's just a bunch of ghosts.
Organic air conditioning.
Yeah, man, that's great.
Yeah.
Gives the ghosts some place to live. Keeps things cool. It's a win-win, baby.
Win-win.
Just don't give them evil ghosts.
All right. Well, we're pretty much out of time. Do you wanna wrap up?
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk a ton about the apocalypse.
We did. It's fine.
But what a great month, and what great movies to watch, especially Big Trouble in Little China, which is just an absolute classic.
So much fun. Everybody I talk to about it, oh my God, it's my favorite movie. Everybody.
Yeah, there's nobody. Here's a good gauge. If somebody doesn't like that movie, they're a jerk. Walk away. There you go. That's a good litmus test to see if you want to hang out with somebody.
It's true.
Ask them if they like that movie. Next month, we're coming into...
we got Independence Day coming up.
Yeah, so it's America.
We're all about America.
If yeah, baby. So we're gonna do some Rocky 4. We're gonna do some Rambo 2, and we're gonna do a little bit of
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, avenge me, boys.
Original Red Dawn.
Yeah, of course, not the crap version.
Which the only good thing about the crap version was Hemsworth.
Yeah, well, he's a charming man,
he is.
But even he can't save the horrible remake.
Very easy on the eyes.
But yes, I can't wait to watch these movies.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun month. And if you want to get in on the conversation, if you want to tell us that you hate us or that you love us or give us a recommendation on something we should cover, then you can contact us via email at
genxfilespodcast@gmail.com.
That's
genxfilespodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. So, we'd love to hear from you.
I would really love some beer recommendations for our next Stepdad show.
Yes, and scotch. Or whiskey.
Yeah.
Good Rex.
Yeah, if you have anything good that you like, email us.
Or games or movies, let us know. We always want to hear from you.
We're very excited to try new things. And
who knows? Maybe we'll have you on one of the Stepdad shows to talk about the thing that you're recommended to us.
You're loving.
Yeah, you'll get famous just like us. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in July. We spend way too much time being like, is this the thing? We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. That's My Mama, already in progress.